I just want to say that I feel like at the beginning of this investigation, I was very clear. I said there will be no fakeness and there will be no gayness in this investigation. And apparently there were some people who did not take me seriously or literally, because there are a lot of little lies being told, right? Charlie gets assassinated, and the very people who were threatening him reputationally and financially are now trying to memorialize him. Have now confirmed that there was indeed a woman who was with the shooter in the footage that was captured by the houses nearby the area. And for whatever reason, the FBI has not yet released or even acknowledged that that footage exists.
Oh, honey, grab your tea because this one's piping hot. Candace Owens just dropped major bombshells, and trust me, you're not ready for what's coming next. Apparently, she's not buying the official story about Charlie Kirk's assassination. Nope, not one bit. Candace claims the whole thing smells fishy, like powerful people covering something up kind of fishy. According to her, investigators are sweeping key details under the rug, and one of those details, a mysterious woman who was reportedly seen with the alleged shooter on the very same day it all went down. And get this, that woman just disappeared right before everything went to chaos. Like, poof, gone. Candace is saying if that's true, it could totally flip this whole investigation upside down, but she's not stopping there. She's also calling out the FBI, saying they handled the evidence way too fast, too conveniently. Like maybe, just maybe, they wanted to keep certain things hidden or selectively leaked to shape the story however they wanted. Candace is basically screaming from the rooftops that instead of getting answers, we're getting manipulation. And she's not wrong, and because every time officials speak, it feels like we're moving further from the truth. And here's where it gets wild. Rumor has it, Candace actually thinks Charlie might have been, wait for it, a sacrifice. Yes, you heard that right, a sacrifice. So buckle up, because the storm Candace Owens just unleashed is only getting started. And baby, it's messy.
Challenge accepted. All lies will be revealed, and we're going to help reveal those lies. Also, yesterday, we asked for the public's help in identifying two individuals who Phil Lyman's nephew described as his close friends, who decided to retrace the path of Charlie's killer. And what we have discovered thus far is absolutely stunning. This story couldn't get any crazier.
And just when you thought this couldn't get any more shocking, oh, it does. Charlie Kirk's assassination has exploded into something so much bigger than anyone expected. Sure, his death was tragic, but now it's like this dark, twisted web of secrets, corruption, and people who are way too powerful to touch. Candace Owens stepped right into the fire with some serious accusations. She's saying the story being spoon-fed to the public, completely fake. Like intentionally fake, crafted to hide the real puppeteers pulling the strings. She swore when she started digging into this that she'd stay honest, that she wouldn't twist anything. But the deeper she went, the more lies she uncovered. Lies about Charlie, lies about his death, lies about the people now trying to rewrite his legacy. And this is where it gets chilling. She's accusing some of the same people who once threatened Charlie while he was alive of now trying to act like he was a proud supporter of Israel. She says that narrative isn't tribute, it's distraction, a shiny cover-up to hide what really went down. According to her, this wasn't just a random act of violence. This was orchestrated, planned. She claims there's surveillance footage from the day of the attack that shows a woman standing with the shooter, but guess what? The FBI hasn't said a word about it. They haven't released the footage, haven't even acknowledged it exists. And Candace is calling it out, loud and clear. She says this missing footage could be the key to understanding everything, whether the shooter acted alone or if he was just a pawn in something much, much bigger. Candace even put out a public appeal, asking for help identifying two men connected to Phil Lyman's nephew, Shaner Barrick. Apparently, those two were seen retracing the shooter's path right after the assassination. Like, why? Why would they do that unless they knew something? And what they found, according to her, is jaw-dropping. Proof that this whole situation is anything but ordinary. Now let's talk about Phil Lyman for a second. He's a political guy, running for governor, but suddenly he's knee-deep in this investigation. That's suspicious. He's talking way too much, acting way too involved. People are starting to whisper, does he know more than he's letting on? Because honestly, his behavior isn't what you'd expect from a politician watching from the sidelines. It's giving insider vibes, All of these twists together, the missing footage, the mysterious woman, the evasive official, they make the whole thing look like a cover-up straight out of a movie. And if Candace Owens is even half right, this could change everything we thought we knew about what happened to Charlie Kirk. But wait till you hear what she found next, because the name Shaner Barrick just took this from suspicious to downright sinister. Candace points straight at Shaner, saying he wasn't just a bystander. Oh no, he was deeply involved in the investigation itself. According to her, Shaner, who everyone thought was Phil Lyman's nephew, actually retraced the killer's route and even made the map that media outlets used to explain how the whole thing went down. So yeah, he literally shaped what the world believes about that day. But hold up, this is where things take a bizarre turn. Suddenly, Phil Lyman starts backtracking. He begins downplaying his connection to Shaner, saying, "Oh no, he's not really my nephew, more like a distant cousin." Excuse me? So now we're rewriting family ties mid-investigation? It's weird, super weird, especially since Shaner himself used to call Phil Uncle Phil publicly. So why the change? What's being hidden? And then it gets even more suspicious, because the moment Candace starts pointing fingers, Shaner vanishes. Literally vanishes. He deletes his LinkedIn, wipes his Facebook, locks down his Instagram, all gone. Every trace of him erased, like someone hit delete on his entire life. Candace says it's obvious he's hiding something or someone told him to disappear. Either way, it's not a good look. So she reaches out directly to Phil Lyman, hoping to get some clarity, but instead of giving her straight answers, he gets all vague, confused, like he suddenly doesn't remember which photo she's talking about, and that just made Candace more suspicious. She's like, how are you confused when it's literally your own family being questioned? The whole thing screams cover-up, and Candace isn't the only one who thinks so, because people online are starting to notice just how weird this entire situation is. The silence, the deletions, the contradictions. It's like the closer anyone gets to the truth, the faster people start hiding. But here's where Candace drops another truth bomb. She says the real danger isn't just what happened that day, it's how the aftermath is being twisted before our eyes. She warns that the media is working overtime to smooth out the inconsistencies, like a PR machine gone rogue. They're reshaping the story, making it more digestible for the public, while the real details quietly vanish. And when you start connecting the dots, the weird hospital transfer, the new leadership changes, the massive memorial event, everything starts feeling staged. I mean, Candace says Charlie wasn't even taken to the nearest hospital, like the man's dying, and instead of rushing him to the closest emergency room, they take him somewhere farther away, and not even the best equipped hospital for his injuries. It makes no sense. People are questioning whether that decision cost him his life, or if it was all part of a bigger plan to control what happened next. And right around that time, surprise, surprise, the hospital announces a brand new CEO. Talk about suspicious timing. Candace points out how that change happened right when the media frenzy hit its peak. Coincidence? Maybe. But knowing how these things go, it feels like someone wanted to make sure the right people were in charge when the questions started coming in. Now here's where it gets even messier. Witnesses are coming forward, and some of these names will make your jaw drop. One of the most shocking testimonies comes from a woman named Olivia Robertson Cobb Bishop. Candace points out that Olivia's presence isn't just suspicious, it's dangerous, because it implies that the people we trust to protect the truth might actually be part of the lie. And it's not just Olivia. Other witnesses with ties to law enforcement and government offices have popped up too, and it's creating this chilling pattern. Like, why are so many of the people close to this story connected to the system itself? It's almost like the deeper you dig, the more it feels like Charlie's assassination wasn't just a random act. It was engineered. Every single new revelation makes the story darker. Instead of clearing up confusion, each detail makes the whole thing murkier. And Candace isn't letting go. She's practically daring people to ask the hard questions. Why was Charlie taken to that specific hospital? Why was new leadership installed right then? Why hasn't the FBI released the footage? Why are people deleting accounts and vanishing? And why does it feel like the media's treating this like some carefully scripted movie instead of an actual tragedy? She's connecting dots that nobody else dares to, and even though some call her crazy or too emotional, others are finally seeing what she's talking about. Because let's be honest, this story doesn't just have holes. It's like Swiss cheese. And if Candace is right, if Charlie Kirk was a sacrifice for political reasons, for influence, for control, then this is way bigger than any of us thought. People are still reeling from the memorial footage, the crowd, the speeches, the production. It looked more like a show than a farewell. And as Candace said, when something looks too perfect, that's usually when it's the most suspicious. The energy around this case is eerie. Every move, every coincidence, every public statement feels staged. Even online, fans are starting to turn skeptical. They're like, something's off. And for once, social media and investigative voices are actually agreeing with Candace Owens. Now, as the case drags on, more pieces keep falling into place, and not in the good way. We've got missing footage, deleted accounts, silence from officials, and a growing list of names with way too many government ties. It's the perfect recipe for a scandal. And Candace, she's not backing down, she's not apologizing, she's saying, look, I don't care who it offends. Something's wrong here, and I'm going to talk about it. She says the truth is bigger than the backlash. And honestly, that's the energy we need, because no one else is asking these questions. Everyone's too scared to lose their connections, their image, their platform. But Candace, she's already set the world on fire once, and she looks ready to do it again. As she's talking about this, her tone shifts. It's not just anger anymore, it's disbelief, sadness, almost like she's carrying the weight of what she's uncovering. She said multiple times that Charlie's death didn't feel like an accident. It felt like a message, like someone wanted to make a point. And honestly, with all these coincidences stacking up, it's hard to disagree. Even the people who don't usually side with Candace are admitting, and something isn't adding up. Too many questions, too few answers, and the few people who do know something, they're either deleting their accounts or pretending not to remember. It's the oldest trick in the book. Act confused, go silent, move on, but not this time. Because people are watching. The internet's on fire right now. Everyone's dissecting every second of footage, every hospital document, every quote from the officials. There's this sense that something's bigger behind all of it. Something orchestrated, planned, and protected. And the more Candace speaks, the more others are stepping up and saying, yeah, this isn't right. Even Phil Lyman's evasive responses are starting to look calculated, not clueless. And the thing about secrets? They never stay buried forever. By now, this isn't just a story. It's a full-blown drama. It's got politics, betrayal, mystery, and power plays. Everything a scandal needs. Candace has positioned herself as the one person bold enough to question what everyone else pretends not to see. She's standing alone in the storm, saying what no one else dares to, that Charlie Kirk's death might have been part of something bigger, something orchestrated, something dark. And whether you believe her or not, you can't deny that she's making people talk and think. Because let's face it, if all of this is true, then we're not just dealing with one man's tragic death. We're looking at a chain of power and control that goes way deeper than anyone wants to admit. Candace's final message in all this? She's begging people not to get hypnotized by the headlines. She's warning everyone that the truth is not what the mainstream outlets are saying. That behind the official reports and the heroic narratives, there's manipulation. Deep, intentional manipulation, designed to rewrite Charlie's story and silence the real one. She believes that until people stop accepting the neat, polished version of events and start questioning who benefits from this tragedy, nothing will change. And that's what makes this story so explosive, and because it's not just about one man anymore. It's about power, image, and the cost of truth in a world that's addicted to lies. Anyway, what do you think about all of this drama? Because honestly, it's a lot to take in. Do you believe Candace? Do you think Charlie Kirk's assassination was really a sacrifice? Or just a tragic event being twisted into something bigger? Let me know in the comments. I need to hear what you think. And don't forget, stay tuned, because you know there's always more where this came from. Until next time, stay alert, stay curious, and don't believe everything they tell you. Bye for now.